Hi, and a warm welcome to our talk from event storming to working code. We will show you today how you can deliver in faster time new features and new applications. But now let's go into our presentation, and I will show you some basic stuff around our low-code platform, and Alex will go in a few minutes more in detail. At first, I will introduce Alex and me a little bit and our companies, and I will start with Alex. Alex Miertsch is the CEO and founder of Proof Software, and since the beginning of their start the company, he helped their clients to improve teamwork with event stormings by offering workshops and consultancy. Before the pandemic started, Alex and his teams focused also on remote event stormings, and so they started to develop the Proof board to provide remote workshops and help their clients therefore. The Proof software develops tailor-made corporate software for their clients and using event sourcing and event-driven architectures. For my side, I'm Christof. I'm the CEO of Heinzel A, and I founded the company in the end of 2010. And we built cloud-based content management solutions and running cloud infrastructures. We develop custom software solutions for our clients and using also event sourcing and event-driven architectures. But let's go a little bit deeper into this, why we are here. We will show you our low-code platform and some small introductions from my side now. You start by our low-code platform with using the Proof board. The Proof board is the starting point for our journey. All our team members or your team members will join a remote event storming to planning the new feature or planning the whole software. You'll be able to work together in remote teams to use the Proof board to model the software and start from scratch to building up real-life software solutions. You use high-level event stormings, you can use design-level modeling, or you can plan your next sprint by event stormings. It helps you to understand all your needs for a better software solution for you and your clients. If you're ready and you're done with your modeling, your hidden team member called Cody will start the work. Cody is your developing buddy and helps you to create code. Cody understands design level event stormings and translate the visual module into working and running code. Alex will show you this in a few minutes in a real life demo, not a video, it's a real life demo later on. In our platform, we decide to implement a media asset service. The media asset service is a module you can include. You can select them to provide your software with a new feature for storing all necessary data, and you can use it for PDF documents, for images, and so on, so that you have a fully functional media asset service for storing all necessary data. We provide for all users a fully managed key-cloak service. So you can directly use the user management for better security and for managing all the needed access management, what you need for your own platform out of the box, and you can implement it in your own solution right now. The whole platform is currently provided by our own infrastructure, and it's fully managed. So you don't have to worry about anything. You can directly start. But you can also use your own solution. You can use, for example, AWS or Google Cloud Services. You can use a different Git provider like GitHub or GitLab, or you use for a quick starting point all what we can provide you in our platform. It's also possible that we can switch to your own infrastructure, and thereby we can help you to integrate it in all the necessary environments so that you can manage your own services. Therefore, I can show you currently how the components will work together. All components you will see here in a red and in the, it's more a blue, green, gray stuff. That's our software as a service components you will have to use from Proof and from Insekia. And you will start with the Proof board. And inside the Proof board, I told you, you can modeling, you can use Cody. And Cody is the bot who can generate PHP backend or Node backend, and also as well React frontend. And so you have the feeling to generate a backend code and front-end code so that you have a fully functional basics. All these stuff can you store in our Git repositories, and our Git repositories are provided with build pipelines so that we can give you the whole feelings that you can directly deploy your application in our environment. But all these gray stuff you can use by your own. You can switch it, you can implement your own stuff, and we can connect to our services. Inside the built application, you can connect in Insekia Media Asset Service. It's a media browser, file storage, and some other stuff like rendering images. So if you have the need in your web application that you need a smaller size of an image for a mobile version, all these can you add with the processing rules above a basic image, and that will be stored at first in our storage. But at this point, we can also connect to a AWS storage or a cloud, Google Cloud bucket as well. We connected this in our demo to a cloud bucket by Google, and we stream the processes data directly to the Google bucket. At this point, we implemented as well the Keycloak service, and the Keycloak service is connected directly to your application you create and you build up, and to the media asset service. So you have a single point of user management, and you can directly start and work with this. At this point, I will introduce a short way of the video. We will show you now the demo. And in our demo session, Alex can show you the whole process from modeling up to running code. And we decide here to use the real client, and Alex can give a short introduction to this.
So, hi everybody, also from my side. Yeah, let's continue with the practical part of our demo session. Yeah, we decided to use a real-world demo here. So let me first quickly introduce the domain to you. Christoph and me and our teams, we are currently working for a client called All My Homes. And All My Homes is developing a marketplace where you can buy newly built apartments. So you can do the whole buying journey digitally. You can search for apartments, get some consultation, and finally reserve and buy your favorite one. And yeah, we are working together in a cross-functional team, together with marketing and UX. And we are responsible in our team for lead generation. So we maintain more or less the front door of the marketplace. Here's one example of a page that we maintain. It's the project expose of the project Helling, which is located in Hamburg. And as you can see, the project exposés are separated into different sections. We have a header with a big header image. We have an overview or an introduction section, a fact sheet, the location, some information about different apartment types, and then, of course, a list of available apartments that you can buy. Why I'm telling you this? When we built the MVP of this project exposés, we decided to put the content and the images together with our source code in the Git repository. That was the quickest way to get started. But more and more projects are added to the marketplace. Well, and you can imagine this approach doesn't really scale well. The main problem is that our team has a lot of operational tasks to do. We have to maintain the content. We have to update the images or optimize them for the web. And we wanted to change that. So we wanted to hand over this task to the marketing team. And for that, we needed a content management system. So we looked at available options, but we needed to find a system that is event sourced and, well, yeah, try to find an event source content management system on the market. We had no luck. So we decided to use our low-code platform and design together with the marketing team an application that is tailor-made to their processes and serves them really well. So this application is called Expose Control. And this is how Expose Control looks like. This is running here on my local machine. And here, for example, I can navigate to the Helling project that we just saw on the marketplace. And I can look up the German content. And for example, navigate to this overview and see the same bullet points as we saw on the page here. And of course, I can open the edit mode and, for example, change some bullet points. So now you might think, well, Expose Control is a cruddish system. Data in, data out. But that's actually not the case. As I said, we needed an event source system because at Alma Homes, all services are event-driven, and most services also use event sourcing internally. So Expose Control is no exception for that. And the reason for this is because the other teams, the other services, want to consume events from us to build up their own local read models. For example, if a new project is added to the marketplace, we have to publish an event to tell the follow-up context that the new project is available. So that was one criteria for our system. Then event sourcing also gives us some nice advantages that we can share with our users. Here, for example, we have an overview of releases that I did on my local machine. And if we look at the release, we see a change log. And in this change log, we list the events that have happened since the last published version, for example, of the Helling project here. And if you look at the content log, then we also see a lot of details, like exactly what text has changed by whom, right? So here, this change was done by me. I've modified the metadata at this time here, and so on, and so on. And we can use this changelog for the web viewing process, and then decide if this release should be published or discarded. So this is a really nice advantage of using the audit log that is given for free by our low-code platform, and also show it or share it with the users so that they can also get this advantage for their needs. Okay, so today I would like to add a new feature to this existing application in the next 50 minutes, maybe. So we will do a short event storming, a short design level event storming, and then hand over the result to Cody, our coding bot, and Cody will add this feature directly into expose control here. And yeah, we will see the result directly in this application. So I would say let's get started, and we can just say hello to Cody. We can do that from the proof board of expose control. I just open the Cody console and connect to a local HTTP server. So Cody is a local HTTP server running here on my machine. It has access to my Git repositories, and all the generated code is directly added to these Git repositories. So I can review the code, I can maybe modify the code if I need to, and finally commit it and push it upstream. So I have the full control of what is generated and what is deployed to production, right? So that's good to know, I would say. So yeah, hi Cody, how are you? You ask if we like bots. Yes, of course we do. Okay, Cody seems to be ready. That's great. So we can start. So let's have a look at this board here. It shows, or here, all the features that are currently available in expose control are documented on this board. You see a different color code here. We have gray boxes, gray features. These are features that are already live and deployed. We have yellow features. These are features that are planned but not implemented yet. And we have the red ones. They contain hotspots, maybe open questions, or some bugs that are not fixed yet, or just some ideas for improvements. So these feature boxes are then marked as important, so they appear red. And the next time we have a planning, we can look at those features and see if we want to resolve the hotspots. And today, we want to work on the feature of adding a hub page to the marketplace. So let's have a look. What is a hub page? Here's an example. This is a hub page, an overview page of all the projects that are located in Berlin. So marketing should get the possibility to define those hub pages dynamically. This could be for different cities or different types of projects like investment projects or self-usage projects. It's up to marketing how to define that. Yeah, and they should be able to set the headline, provide a header image, then of course the list of projects that should be listed on the hub page, and also some SEO text. So, and all this should happen in expose control. So we need a new sidebar entry here, and then we should be able to navigate to a hub page overview, show a table like the project list table here, and have a button to add a new hub page. So let's model that. So let me zoom in a bit. And then we start with the UI sticky and call it hub page overview. Then I prefer to put some icons on my UI sticky so that they look more like UI mocks. And this align icon is good to represent the table. Then next, we should think about the information that is shown on this page. So I grab an information sticky, a green one, and write down hub page list. So I connect the sticky to my UI. And next thing is, as I said, marketing should be able to add new hub pages directly from this overview here. So I need the command, blue one, put it below and call it add hub page. Then this command should be handled by an aggregate in the backend. So we need an aggregate sticky and define the aggregate type here. For a simple use case, it's obviously called hub page. The command should record a new event. As a reminder, the system is event sourced. So no state change without an event, which is simply called hub page edit. And from this event, we can derive a new state, a new hub page, which is again green sticky. And then I connect everything. That's important later for the code generation, because with the arrows, Cody can read the message flow of the system. And for this, I also connect the hub page list or the event with the hub page list, because that's a read model and that's a read model, and both are derived from those hub page edit events. Okay, so that's already a pretty good design level event storming, I would say. Of course, it's a short example, but it's a real one. Cody could already generate some boilerplate code for us, but we want to have working code. For this, we need some more information, some more details. And instead of writing those details here on the board, we have the possibility to add metadata to our stickies. And I can do this from the metadata sidebar that I can open from the context menu. So if we look at this metadata, we see that it is pre-filled with a template. And those templates are different for different sticky types. So for a UI sticky, the template is different. For a command sticky, the template is different. And we can set and define those templates in the configuration of the proof board. This is important because Cody itself is open source. It's an open source implementation. Today, we see the PHP version for the backend in action, and we see the React Redux version for the frontend in action. But you are not forced to use the same. You can write your own Cody server in a couple of days in your preferred language, with your preferred framework and your preferred project structure. That's definitely possible. And for this, it's also important that you can define your own metadata templates. So that's the reason why this option is available in Proofboard. But of course, for our low-code platform, we have defined some templates that work very well together with our backend and frontend code generation, so that everything fits together nicely. So yeah, let's continue and think about the structure of a hub page. For this, I can define a schema here. As a side note, I will write a shorthand version of JSON schema here. Cody can compile this shorthand version to full-blown JSON schema version 6. But this shorthand version is faster to write, easier to read, so it fits better into the whole idea of the proof board to be fast and have some good documentation available afterwards. Okay, so a hub page should have a hub page ID, which is a string. I skipped validation here because, yeah, well, it's a demo and it would take too much time to also define the validation rules, but it's definitely possible. And then the validation is applied in the backend as well as in the front end. So just that you know, and maybe in the virtual booth, we can talk about that too, and then I can show you an example. So next thing is that we need a heading, which is also a string. And we need a text, the SEO text, which is also a string. And then we need a header image. Right, sorry. We need a header image. And now things start to get interesting. We can reference an existing type that is already available in the application and also documented here on the board. So if I search for image, then I will find an information sticky here in the common value objects feature. So, and this is the way how I can reuse existing schemas and reference them in other schemas, just like you know from JSON schema references. So we do the same for the list of projects that should be configured for a hub page. Like this, we can reference a project ID as a list. So yeah, I think that's enough for our first version of a hub page. So let's move on to this query schema here. With this information, Cody will generate a query in the backend for us and also the fetching logic in the front end. So we should define the payload of this query. To get a hub page state, we need to pass the identifier along with the query, which is the hub page ID, and again, define the type of this property or filter in this case. Okay, then I can copy the schema and move on to the command, because the command payload is obviously the same as the resulting hub page state. Then I need to tell Cody if this command is handled by a new aggregate, which resides in a new stream in the event store, or an existing aggregate, so that the recorded events are appended to an existing stream. So in our case, we want to create a new hub page. So I have switched this flag here to true, so that the new aggregate is created. Then for the aggregate itself, we just need to say what property is the identifier. It's the hub page ID. And the event is simple in our case. Just copy the schema again for the event payload. So next thing is this hub page list. Here we can again use the referencing mechanism and reference our newly designed hub page state again as a list. Last but not least, the UI. Here we can tell Cody if this page is a top level page, so it is reachable from the sidebar. That is what we want here, so we keep it true. Then we can define the route, which is just hub pages. We can choose an icon for the sidebar, and we can choose one from the material UI icon library. I've looked up an icon before the talk. It's called Dynamic Feed. That looks like nice for the hub pages, so we use that. And the label, yeah, the label in the sidebar is just hub pages. Okay, so we are ready to hand over this information to Cody. Now it's interesting that we can hand over the information step by step. So I mark a sticky that I would like to pass on to Cody, and then trigger Cody directly here from the context menu. The advantage is that when I pass this information one by one, I could also select the whole thing and pass it in one go. But if I did a mistake in the metadata or connected wrong sticky types or whatever, then Cody will tell me in the Cody console about the problem. And if I just pass one sticky, it's easier for me to spot the problem and fix it. Okay, so yeah, let's just trigger Cody and see what happens. Now Cody does the job, and I can here have a look at this Cody console and see some details like the checklist. Look, everything looks fine for the aggregate. So let's just move on and pass on the event. Also looks good. Then the state, yeah, looks fine. And our list also looks fine. So let's have a look at expose control. It's still running, no errors shown. Great. But we don't see the new sidebar entry here because we didn't pass the UI sticky to Cody. So that's what I want to do next. But for this, I would like to switch into a split screen view so that we better see the effect. So then I make the sidebar a little bit smaller. Oops. So like this. Okay. Then let's pass on the UI and see what happens. We don't have an error. That's good. And we should wait a moment for expose control to reload. Or I do it by hand. Sometimes it's not working, that the file watcher didn't detect the change. And see, yeah, we have the new sidebar entry here for our hub pages. And if we navigate to it, there we see an empty list for now, but it's already there with the defined schema. That's really cool, isn't it? Okay, so let's fill this table now. For this, we need a button here, and yeah, Cody can just add it when we pass the command to Cody. So let's do it. And here we go again. Now the file watcher detected the changes correctly, and it reloads, and there we go, we have the command. And if I click on the button, you can see that the schema that is defined on the proof board is now translated to a form. We use this wonderful library, JSON Schema form, to do this. And that's also the reason why our shorthand schema is compiled to JSON schema. And we see another thing. The common image here, the common image type here is resolved to a lot of properties, also from this media asset service that Christof just explained to us. But of course, here are, or the form requests a lot of technical information from the user. Marketing don't really know about workspace IDs and folder IDs and so on. But the media asset service needs those information to process the images in the background. What we can do, instead of showing or asking for all this technical information, we can activate a widget to provide a much better user experience. And this is what we are going to do next. We can do this again in the proof board with the UI schema. Yeah, and we can provide the widget for the header image like this. The type of the widget is a UI field. This is some syntax from JSON schema form. So if you know this library, you are maybe familiar to this widget system. And the widget itself is called media asset widget. So, and then I have to pass a configuration to this widget as UI options. And especially I have to pass an image processing rule like this. And the rule is called hub page header. So this is a rule that I've defined in the media asset service. And this rule knows about the image ratio of the header image. And yeah, let's just see it in action. So I hand over this information to Cody. The application reloads. And when I click on the command again, then I see the widget instead of all this technical information. So now when I click on this image, on this image icon, then I'm connected to the media asset service. And now I can navigate to the defined folder structure in the media asset and choose one of the original images that are available. I think on my local machine, I only have Helling images at the moment. So I choose this one. And yeah, here we see the image processing rule in action. So it is pre-configured for the format that we need in the header of the hub pages. And I cannot change the image ratio. I can only choose the part of the image that I want to crop. So that's good for our users, that they cannot break anything, right? They will just provide the correct image size for our marketplace pages. And if I click on save, then I see the image here, the cropped version. And yeah, I just fill out the rest of the information doesn't matter at the moment. It's just a demo. At the project ID, and then when I press save, everything worked, and the hub page is created. So now the table doesn't really look nice. We could use another widget to show the image also in this table, but I think that's too much for our demo now. I can explain you how this would work also in detail in the virtual booth. As a last step, I would like to show you that the backend really worked and that we have a new event in the system and a new aggregate. And we can do this with this application here. It's called Event Engine Cockpit. It works together with our PHP backend, which uses the framework Event Engine that is also developed as open source by Proof Software. And it's like Swagger UI. So if you know Swagger, it's inspired by Swagger, but really designed to support event-sourced backends. So I can have a look, for example, at the queries that are available. Send the developer list query here and get a list of developers back in the application. The same goes for the commands. They are grouped by the aggregates that handle them. I could send the commands here from the backend, and I can have a look at the aggregates. And here's the new aggregate type hub page with the one page hub page that we just created. And if I look at it here, I see the event hub page added. It was added just now. And here you also find again the technical information of this workspace ID and folder ID, which is now handled in the background by our media asset widget. So with that, I would like to hand over to Christof again. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the demo session.
Okay, thanks a lot, Alex. Thank you for showing us the whole platform and the modeling and the running code. I hope you enjoyed it. And as you can see, or as you have seen, with the proof board and the Insignia Media Asset Service, you will get a modern low-code platform on top of Cody. Remember, Cody is your hidden team member and can help you to develop faster, launching faster, and make more happy our customer by using the platform and quickly launch your tailor-made software within a fraction of time. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us later.